Hello, today we're going to look at some images of patents from the past. We'll see what an estate agent invented in 1854 and two very famous Victorian inventions. What is a patent? It's a government grant to an inventor, giving them the sole right to use the invention for commercial purposes. If you're not technically inclined, that's fine because they have interesting drawings. Here's an invention from 1854. It's an auctioneer's meter. It had a bell, a hammer and a pendulum to regulate the time at an auction. It was designed to prevent the auctioneer and the purchasers colluding to sacrifice the vendor's property. A patent is a practical solution to a practical problem. It tells us something about the needs of society at the time. Here is a very famous invention from 1855. It's the basis of refrigeration today. It's James Harrison's ice-making machine. Trying to keep food and drink cool was one of the biggest problems in the early 1800s. Harrison was a printer, and while he was cleaning the moving type on a printing machine with either, he noticed that ice crystals formed on the metal, cooling it down. He created the world's first compression refrigeration system using sulfuric ether as the refrigerant. It used a compressor to force gas through a condenser, which cooled and liquefied the gas. The gas then circulated through the refrigeration coils and vaporized again, cooling the surrounding system. It produced 3,000 kilograms of ice per day and was immediately taken up by breweries and meatworks. Australia was very much an agricultural society in the 19th century. Inventions were often for ploughs and machines for cutting and threshing grain, such as reapers and harvesters. Here we have Thomas Henderson's winnowing machine from 1868. Winnowing is the process of separating the chaff from the grain. Before the invention of this type of machine, the processes related to harvesting were done by hand. In 1885, Hugh Mackay invented the first commercially viable combine harvester. This machine was a multitasker. It could strip, thresh, winnow and bag grain. This saved a lot of time and labour. Mackay went on to found the Sunshine Harvester Company, one of the biggest manufacturers of agricultural equipment in Australia. During the gold rushes of the 1850s and 60s, miners looked for ways of making their work easier. This mining machine saved a lot of hard manual labour. It separated ore from the commercially worthless rock material. It was invented by John Phillips of St Arnaud. Here's something different. It's a voting machine invented in 1905 by George Stacey, a journalist from Perth. It had a voting or pull bar with a vote registering device. The machine allowed a first, second and third preference and could be adapted to allow more preferences. The aim of the machine was to reduce fraud and error. I don't think this invention ever took off. And all our patents have full descriptions of the inventions if you want to read about them. And here's an unusual invention, a collapsible hat invented in 1946. It's like an umbrella. It has ribs radiating out from the centre and it has a pull cord. If you'd like to read more about patents, have a look at our blog. And we have a patents research guide for information on our collections.